I was influenced by Mean Gene Kelton. I don't know if y'all know him, but
no, I don't.
A blues man from out of Baytown. And he had some pretty famous songs. I want to say Texas Honey was a big one.
Yeah, I do know who that is.
Texas City Dyke was one of his. And the biggest one was My Baby Don't Wear No Panties.
Yeah, they play him on Sundays on 90.1.
Yep.
Yeah, they sure did. My dad, he loved My Baby Ain't Got No Panties. My dad would be in the garage because he always listened to 90.1 on the Sundays blues, and he'd go, "My baby don't have no panties." I'm like, damn, this song is for you, Dad.
Yeah, that's a great song. And I was like probably between 9 and 11 or something, and my parents, took me to see a show of his. I think he was playing the Bicentennial Park in Baytown, and he couldn't play that song because it was,
family friendly.
But they played the album for me. They were big followers of his. They were diehards. He had Mean Gene Kelton and the diehards. The diehards were the fans that showed up to all the shows. Like any city, anywhere, they'd be there. And my parents were one of those. When he came locally, they'd show up to the shows. Well, they brought me because they knew I was getting interested in music to the point where I might want to play. And when I heard him do that song, I was the kid in the crowd at all the family functions saying, "Play the panties song." And he's like, "You guys can't hear that here, but I'm playing this place next week." So I kind of set him up for the plug,
Nice.
Wow.
I set him up to plug his own shows. I didn't even know what I was doing back then.
Good job marketing.
So he's just a natural.
But he was my big influence. He taught me my first song on guitar. He taught me some like blues riffs back in the day. He taught me some lead riffs. Some of my first things I've ever played on guitar.
What was his name?
Mean Gene Kelton.
Give me a Mean Gene Kelton blues riff.
So he taught me like
oh, that's that old school.
just like little minor stuff,
I like that.
And he taught me
that was mean.
Yeah. And he's, that's some of the first stuff he taught me. It's polished now. I know what I'm doing, but back then it was like, oh, that's not right. Like 7 hours of teaching me that, but yeah.
Like he actually taught you, or like you were listening to his music?
Well, my family, my parents were good friends with him.
Oh, okay, good.
He came to the house and like we'd eat dinner, and then he's like, "Hey, let me show you this on guitar. You said you were starting to learn." So
sweet.
And then his song "Cruising Texas Avenue" was a huge one, and that's the very first song I learned how to play on guitar.
Sweet.
And all the way through the very first. And then he used to play a steak place called Roosters in Baytown.
Yep.
And he would do acoustic shows. And I'd come out to that acoustic show and I'd plug in my acoustic and he'd let me play along. I didn't know how to sing back then, but he let me play along. And I also sang for the first time live with him.
What?
So his wife, Joni, knew me very well from that. And whenever he got in an accident in Crosby and when it killed him, she approached me and asked if I would front the band for the benefits. Because I played so much just like him. Mm-hmm. Like all my, he taught me. I was kind of like the
little protege.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily go that far, but we were close. And they let me sing, and that's where I met Jonathan. We were at one of the benefits, and he was one of the bands in the lineup.
Okay.
And I headlined and sang a little bit because I had learned how to sing through that, and. Learned how to sing, and then played that show, played lead, and played on his guitar. I got to play on his Les Paul that he played at shows. Like, nobody touched it, but they let me play it, and I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing with this thing.
Yeah,
and,
what a privilege.
Yeah, and his band, they all, Russell Shelby was his drummer for a long time, and multiple different variations of the band. I did like 4 or 5 benefits with them.
Wow.
And on like the second or third benefit is when I met Jonathan. They asked me if I wanted to come play lead guitar. And I was sacking groceries at the time at Kroger. And I was like, yeah, I'd much rather do that.
Yeah.
So.
No. Yeah. Easy choice right there.
Yeah. Dang, what a cool
minimum wage to making music money. It's like, man, this is nice.
And hanging out and playing music.
I can imagine being a grocery bagger.
Yeah, it was.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
It's fun, If you got the right people you're working
Man's
with.
got to eat.
I had a good time. I made a lot of friends doing that, but
You see a lot of people too.
yeah.
Man's got to eat.
Yep.
You got to have those old
It's
guys.
the job security,
Yeah,
Like that's
exactly.
Not anymore. They're going to replace all them with robots soon.
I mean, I
Yeah.
stack my own groceries at Aldi, so
Absolutely. But
anywhere I go.
I like robots more than people anyways.
Yeah.
So,
I'm a self-checker at this point.
Me too. Yeah,
I don't know.
you're using your skills, sacking your groceries.
Right.
I like to harass the cashiers. I like
Yeah.
to go full Karen on them.
Yeah, like could you please put the milk in 2 bags?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's no
2.5 bags.
My favorite was when they wanted bags for stuff that didn't need bags. And I was like, okay, I guess.
Or for a pack of gum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I can hand this to you. You can put this in your pocket or your purse. Like, no, I need a bag.
Oh, they're being
No.
Whatever.
They're stealing them. They're cheap as hell.
Yeah.
You gotta have an old guy that. I had an old guy that was kind of like that. He taught me a lot in the beginning when I learned to play guitar. His name was Owen.
Yeah.
And he looked just like Billy Gibbons. Had a big, long red beard.
nice.
Are you sure it wasn't him? Just like,
Yeah.
pretending
No,
not to
I
be?
saw a video. I saw a picture. He met him.
Okay.
So,
Are
and
they like side by side in the picture?
yeah, and if it wasn't for the beard, he probably wouldn't look that much like him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was just he had a long beard. But he played a 61 SG. It's worth like 20 grand now. But
Yeah.
is last time I saw him actually was during one of the. It was like 3 years ago during that random flood. It wasn't in like a hurricane. It was just
Yeah.
Yeah, it
A
just
storm?
rained. It just rained. Yeah.
and he lives by the lake, Lake Houston, and he lives right on the lake, and his house always floods. And I went to check on my mom and dad's place because they live right by him. And I got on the golf cart, and I was like, I'm going to go drive down the neighborhood and make sure everybody's all right down there. And I'm driving down the golf cart, and I just hear like super loud guitar riffs. And I pull up to his house. He lives at the cul-de-sac right on the lake at the end of the road. And his house has got like 6 feet of water in it. And he's just standing, and his garage is on the other side of the road, higher, not
Yeah.
flooded. He's just standing in his garage by himself with his half stack turned all the way up, just soloing. And like, he'd be like, I was like, everybody was just watching him in the neighborhood there. And they were like, oh, and is your house okay? And he just wouldn't stop playing.
Yeah.
He was just
playing
like,
his frustrations out.
yeah, he was just,
Yeah.
I was
His
looking at
event
him.
is event.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was looking at him
his
shredding on as loud as possible. His house is underwater. He's just going. I was like, "Hey, just let this man have this moment."
That's crazy.
I wish he had a video camera. That's like movie worthy.
I know I'm such a. I was not social media active at the time because I totally would have used him for views. Totally would have used his sadness for views.
You
man.
you say like Billy Gibbons. I used to think my grandpa was in ZZ Top because his name was Billy Givens. I didn't realize that like we're Gibbons, and I didn't realize that it was Gibbons at the time. And so I used to tell people my grandpa was in ZZ Top.